will be incurred by future generations, the threat to the finances of some of our universities, all of those are at stake in the debate tomorrow. And if that isn't an argument, Mr. Speaker, for the House to be given proper time to debate all of this, then I don't know what is. The truth is that the government has treated this House with contempt. And I urge the House to reciprocate by treating this motion with the contempt it deserves and throw it out.
Order. Two honourable members have submitted manuscript amendments, which I myself saw a matter of a few minutes ago and which, to my knowledge, have most certainly been submitted within the last hour or so. And it's right that I give a verdict on that matter to the House. I am not selecting either of those amendments. There has been plenty of time in which manuscript amendments could have been submitted much earlier in the day, and that did not happen. And it might also be helpful if I point out to the House that the House is having, and I emphasise is having, a very full debate on all of the relevant issues in terms of time. So there is very good opportunity for members who wish to argue for particular allocations of time to have done so, or for so long as the debate continues, to do so. That's the situation, and we now move on. Point of order, Mr. Paul Farrelly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could you, given that, could you clarify to the House, please, whether you've received any amendments to tomorrow's motion, apart from the opposition front bench, in particular, whether you've received a cross-party amendment to the motion?
I was slightly perplexed and taken aback by the attempted point of order of the honourable gentleman for the simple reason that we're not discussing the motion relating to tomorrow, and I'm not going to get into the subject of amendments there too. I was focusing simply on manuscript amendments tonight from, I believe, the honourable gentleman member for Cardiff West and the honourable gentleman member for Glasgow South, and it was with that, and with that alone, that I was and am concerned. A point of order, Mr. Duncan Hames.
Mr. Speaker, I wonder if you could advise us whether it would be in order for members this evening to seek to speak in this debate if they were not present for the whole of the opening two speeches in the debate.
I'm grateful to the honourable gentleman for his point of order. What I would say to the honourable gentleman, I don't think the honourable gentleman's applying to make a speech, so I don't think he's caught by his own stricture. What I would say to the honourable gentleman is I think the general courtesy applies to all debates, that it is right if a member wishes to speak in a debate that he or she should be present for the opening speeches. And that is the basis on which I work. I hope the honourable gentleman is content with that response. Well, I will take a very small number, but I do want to get on with the substance of the matters. Point of order, Mr. Robert Flello.
I'm very grateful, Mr. Speaker. One of the points that was raised earlier in this debate, and I'm not sure, Mr. Speaker, whether you were in the chair at the time, was the issue of members who have other business in this House. And I'm just concerned that there may well be members who are unable either to be in the opening speeches tonight or indeed the opening speeches tomorrow because of other duties in this House. They may be delayed and they may therefore not be able to catch your eye.
Well, I have a sense that that's a continuation and perhaps even a development of a point that was made earlier, not least, I think, by the honourable gentleman, but it isn't actually a point of order for the chair. And just before we get on with any continuing debate, I would just emphasise that the chair will have the very keenest regard to the closeness to the motion that members demonstrate in their speeches. There has not yet been a backbench speech, and I'm happy to hear a backbench speech, and that's important, but members must stick to the terms of the motion, and I will be focusing very intently on whether that's being done and on the economy that is displayed in developing the arguments. Mr. Kevin Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to oppose the business of the House motion this evening in the name of the Leader of the House and the University's Secretary.